This is why I will never buy a small scuba tank and the reason why I refuse a collaboration with them. Since some months already, the whole web and every social media is full of advertisement videos about small scuba tanks that can be used for snorkeling. They even contacted me for a collaboration, but after having a really quick look at the product, I directly declined. And here's why. Everyone is talking about it now. Way too many people and influencers are just talking about the positive aspects of these mini tanks, and no one is actually making people aware of the potential dangers of it. With prices ranging from $100 to several $100s, this little tank can be easily bought by anyone. The product is sold as a shallow diving kit that lets you breathe freely under the surface with no bulky scuba equipment that gets in your way while you're exploring. No certification is required. Starter kit, which includes a hand pump, mask and transport bag, sells for around $500. Now, if you're a certified diver, you might already see the problems that are coming with this. Let me start from the beginning. Diving is an amazing activity, and beware, because if you start, you'll probably end up getting addicted. And if you're ready when snorkeling, you know how tempting it is to just get a little closer to that beautiful coral a few meters below you. And if you're not a good freediver, I feel you, I'm bad at it too, a little help sounds exactly like something you want. And that's why I totally understand the temptation of getting one of those little tanks that looks so easy to use and that would allow you to stay for a little longer with your new buddy, the octopus. One of the strongest selling points of mini scuba tanks is their portability and convenience. Unlike traditional scuba tanks, which are large and heavy, require training as well as a lot of additional gear to be used, mini scuba tanks are compact and lightweight. They are designed to be easily carried around, making them ideal for travelers and accessible for everyone, even to little kids. And while this might sound really nice, it's actually where the problems start. First of all, the amount of air is limited, and even though the product description says you can stay down up to 10 minutes, in most of the cases, user reported that it didn't last longer than 3 minutes. And now you may think, yeah, okay, what's the problem? I just get out of the water and refill it, sure. But rather than the amount of air itself, the real problem is that the air is not consumed in the same amount on the surface and at depth. In the water, the pressure increases much faster than in the atmosphere, while at sea level, the pressure of 10,000 meters of air reaches 1 bar. Below the surface, 1 bar of pressure is already reached with 10 meters of water, which means at 10 meters depth, you will already have doubled the pressure you would normally have at the surface. So instead of 1 bar, you now have already 2 bar. And 10 meters is not really that much when you're at the sea with good visibility. You probably would manage to swim them simply by holding your breath. This pressure has a consequence on the amount of air you inhale with each breath. To put this in number, if at the surface you would consume, let's say, 20 liters of air per minute, at 10 meters you will actually be consuming double of it because of this change of pressure. So like 40 liters per minute. So if you don't have this calculation in mind, and to be honest, why would you? We don't learn this in school. You risk to remain without air really fast. And what would you do if you remain without air at a depth of 10 meters? You would naturally follow your survival instincts and rush up while holding your breath. And this mistake can cost you your life. The very first thing you're taught when doing scuba certifications is to never, ever, ever hold your breath. We talked before about the extreme pressure changes, and I'll make it really short for you. If you filled your lungs with that less breath at the depth of 10 meters, the volume of the air that is now in your lungs will double by the time you reach the surface. Your lungs are elastic, but not that much. Even before reaching the surface, your lungs will explode without you even noticing it. And when this happens, there is nothing you can do. It's game over. Holding your breath, even just for 2-3 meters, especially when close to the surface, can cost you your lungs. Now imagine giving this tank as a Christmas present to your kids and letting them play with it the next time you're at the sea. If you are ever in such a situation, always remember to never hold your breath. Even if you don't have any access to air anymore, while attempting an ascent, constantly leave bubbles out to avoid your lungs to overextend. That's your only chance to get out of it alive. And if this didn't convince you, The tank comes with a manometer, so a gauge, so you're gonna be able to see how much gas pressure is still in the tank. But it doesn't come with a dive computer. The tank is safe to use up to 10 meters deep. But honestly, how do you know how deep you are without having a computer? Just imagine you're at a tropical sea with a lot of sunlight coming through. You'll easily swim down to 20 meters without even realizing. Especially kids tend to wear goggles when swimming in the sea, and if you were never in the situation or took a diving course, you also cannot know what are the dangers of diving with goggles. I'll tell you. I anyway most probably already ruined your appetite. So because goggles don't have any connection with a source of air, like it would be the nose in the case of a mask, the change in pressure while descending cannot be compensated. This causes the goggle to compress against your eyes and lead to an ice barotrauma, which is basically when the blood capillaries of your eyes explode because of this vacuum caused. All of this, of course, assuming that you are able to properly equalize your ears. If you or your kid never had to equalize before and you are not aware of how you can do this, you may damage your eardrum and in the worst case break it. And if water enters in your middle ear, it's not just painful and at risk of infections. The temperature difference on the equilibrium organ that is also found in the ear will cause you to completely lose orientation, and if no one is there to help you because you're alone maybe, you might not manage to find the surface again. I'm not kidding, I know it sounds absurd, but without your equilibrium organ properly functioning, you could not recognize what's up and what's down. And if you start swimming in the wrong direction, well. So for this reason, it is also essential to consider a scuba mask that allows you to pinch your nose with the fingers and avoid any kind of goggles or full face masks that are not letting you equalize. I hope I didn't scare you too much, but now you know why I refuse to collaborate with these brands. I am an experienced diver and would probably manage to use them without getting in trouble, but I don't want to promote something that could put other people in danger. So if you're anyway thinking about trying it out, I strongly recommend you to first familiarize yourself with the diving theory, especially concerning the changes of pressure and the basics of scuba diving. Don't forget to follow me on YouTube, Instagram and TikTok for more content.